Well, good morning and welcome to Zen Live. I didn't have anything to talk about this morning. I was listening to Morning Joe and dropping a few comments on Facebook. And one of the commentators said the phrase came, the end of the days of the dog whistle are over. And that really struck a chord. Do you know what the dog whistle is? You blow the dog whistle, and only the dogs hear it. And that's been a common turn for Republican politics for the last 40 years. And it began to be, the dog whistle was blown after the civil rights acts of LBJ in the late 60s. The Southern Democrats, this is always amusing to me when people on the right will say, well, the Democrats voted for slavery. Well, yeah, they were Southern Democrats. The South was solid white. The South, from the Civil War, the Southern Democrats were the white South. And when the Democratic Party, through LBJ and John F. Kennedy and Robert Kennedy, began to enforce civil rights, the Southern Democrats left the party. And they became an independent party with Wallace. And then Nixon, the crafty guy he was, realized that he could get all these people and all these Southern Democrats could become solid Republicans if he used a dog whistle. So you can't, see, a regular whistle would say, yo, you all racist, y'all come on in here. Y'all come on in here, you racists, and we'll be a racist party. We won't be a hypocrite, we'll just come out and be a racist party. Like you were in the solid South. Everybody, Strong Thurmond and all those Southern Democrats were overtly racist. I mean, they didn't pretend to be different. Stand on the front of the store with a baseball bat. Say, Negroes not allowed. The South was a racist society, and it was all over the place. Colored drink here, whites drink here. Whites have a nice drinking fountain, coloreds have an old bucket. Separate but equal was the mantra of the South, but it wasn't equal. It was like this, you see. So the civil rights of the 1968s was a cataclysm, and also the school segregation of the 50s. There were two movements. The school segregation of the 50s split Blackstone, all these southern towns, apart. For those that you remember or read up on it, as soon as that integration, public schools have to be integrated, there was a flight to create private schools, and the whites went there who could afford it, and the poor whites went to the public schools with the blacks. And that's still here in Blackstone today. You have a private school where the professional people send their kids because they can afford the tuition, and the public school, which is about 50-50. I'm not sure what the percentage is now. But all these southern towns now have a Confederate statue in the courthouse and a private white school. And so anyway, that happened in the 50s. And in the 60s, you had the Civil Rights Act, which integrated public business, restaurants, parks, everything had to be. And what happened then? Well, the town used to have, quote, swimming pools, swimming holes, lakes, swimming parks. They all got closed down. Now, there are no swimming parks because the blacks could go, so the whites closed it down. So this dog whistle, back in the segregated South, there was no dog whistle. Everybody knew it was racist. Everybody knew what the game was. It was in the open. So then when Nixon saw the chance, and y'all Southern Democratic racists now, y'all come into our party and you'll have a home and you'll be able to be not racist and racist at the same time. You can, since you can't be racist anymore in the South because you can't have racist laws, y'all come into the Republican Party and I'll blow this dog whistle and you'll hear it and you'll come, but nobody else can hear it. Nobody can hear it but you. And all of the language that were all of the language, the public language or the political language will be coded. So Reagan can say, welfare queens. Well, what does that mean? Well, of course we want to get rid of this excess of welfare. You see. So everything became dog whistle. And this was condoned hypocrisy. And it became unconscious. Well, I'm not racist, but certainly I'm going to vote for policies that will continue segregation. I'll vote for policies for continuing segregation, but I'm not racist. Are you calling me racist? When you want to fight, you calling me a racist? But I'll vote for racist policy, but they're not racist policy. You see? So this is political hypocrisy. You can vote for racist policies, but not call it racist policies. It's coded. So you get your cake and eat it too. You get to be a racist, and you get to not be a racist. And you get very offended if somebody calls you a racist. Very offended, very angry. And that's still going on, you know, here in the South. Nobody's a racist. In the old South, everybody was a racist. I mean, the white people were racist. And it was open. You go to a picnic and hang a black man. Bring your kids. Have lunch. Stand around the cottonwood tree where the fruit hangs, you know, the black people hang. You know, that was in the 20s when these statues were being raised. So, okay, so Nixon created the dog whistle politics, and this has gone on until Trump. Ha-ha! Trump doesn't. Now, you think I'm praising Trump, but, you know, who knows? Trump doesn't use a dog whistle. He just comes out and says, I'm racist. He doesn't actually come out and say that, but he is so close to saying it that he might as well say it. So, and I'm not even sure if you could even call Trump a racist. What he is doing is changing the way the Republican Party communicates by not using a dog whistle. So he's just openly creating divisive politics. His speech is divisive. And it gives a lot of relief to the hypocrites. It gives a lot of relief to a fringe group who doesn't want to have coded language. They don't care. They don't want to be a hypocrite. So I was just watching this Vice thing on HBO and listening to these guys talk. They're not ashamed of being a racist. They're not apologetic to being a racist. They're not apologetic to being a Nazi or a white supremacist. And they go in the march with little torches to light their faces so you can photograph it. I'm sure the FBI's got everybody's photograph there. You see, they're cataloged. I'm not ashamed of coming out. They don't wear a hood. See, that's being afraid. The Ku Klux Klan wears a sheet to hide their shame. They don't want to be open. So now it's open. So now the KK doesn't need a sheet. So this is the end of the dog whistle. So maybe this is good, maybe this is bad. I don't know. Who knows? Everything is good, bad. You can't divide the world into absolutely good and absolutely bad. Everything is good, bad. Everything turns into its own opposites. Good, what's good today is bad tomorrow. If you get too much of good, it becomes bad. Oh, a donut's really good, but then just eat a ton of them and see how good they are. You see. Good turns into bad. Bad turns into good. Nothing is absolute and fixed, you see. So what, is Trump good or bad? Or good, or is he bad? He's good bad, or bad good. But things are changing. So maybe it's refreshing to have the racists out in the open. Maybe it's refreshing. I know it's refreshing for them not to have to hide behind a sheet, not to have to play with dog whistle politics, coded words. That's been going on for 40 years, you see. One thing about hypocrisy is that it creates a tension in you. If you're a hypocrite, if you're saying I'm one thing but you're doing another, that creates a tremendous tension within. Because the commandment of God, the commandment of life, is let there be one. Let you be one. Let me be one. I want to be one, not two. Two is a schizophrenic. A hypocritic is like a psychological schizophrenic. Says one thing, does another. His mind's going this way, his body's doing that. We can all see that. We can see people. We pick them off right away. Just like the prophets of Israel were yelling about the hypocrites. Oh, Israel, don't be a hypocrite. You know, the hypocrites, you see. A hypocrite is a person whose mind is split between thought, I think I am, and body, but I do this. The parent who beats you and says, I'm beating you because I love you. And the kid says, well, it doesn't feel like you're loving me. You see? So the hypocrite is a split person, and that is a condition of self-loathing and a condition of, well, you call it schizophrenia, but it's a split, and it's a wound. It's the wound in the side of Christ. It's the wound that won't heal. So hypocrisy is a wound in yourself that gets projected out onto the world, so you try to relieve the wound in yourself by killing or removing the enemy you project out there. Hypocrisy requires, for its very existence, that you separate yourself from what you do, the hateful thing you're doing, while your mind is rationalizing, it says, I'm doing good, I'm a good person, but I'm doing bad, I'm hurting people. So how do I live with that? The only way to live with that is to project the body, the bad me, out on the others and say, well, there's the cause of it. That's the one. We got to eliminate that. It's the Jews. It's the blacks. It's the Catholics. It's the Irish. It's the immigrants. It's the Mexicans. It's the Muslims. They're the ones that are causing my pain, you see. And the dog whistle allows that to be. So the Republican Party has been a dog whistle party since Nixon to Trump. That's a long time. And we all know this. We all know how the Willie Horton and all of the political ads that were coded symbolic language that in itself is hypocrite. The memes that we listen to, and all on Facebook now, it's all on Facebook. You can see the hypocrisy of the memes that get passed around. You juxtapose two opposites together and make a whole. So you think that Hillary is a evil witch. Or, because you connect her up with witch, So when all this political stuff is all hypocrisy. It's all coded dog whistle propaganda that gets you to do something against your own interest, that keeps the wound going so that you'll keep voting for the person who's going to heal you. While the one you vote for is the one who's making the wound. It's like the vacuum cleaner salesman who throws dirt on the floor and says, oh my God, look at all that dirt. Let me clean that up for you. And then so you create the division and then become the fixer. That's Trump's modus operandi. He creates the division. He just does that instinctively. He just automatically does that because that's the way he's functioned. You create division and then offer yourself as the savior. I'm come to fix you. I've come to fix the world, restore the world. Who broke it anyway? Oh, Obama broke the world, and I've come to fix it, you see. Vote for me. But his very first act was division, create a wall. That became the whole mantra of his campaign. Build a wall and Mexico will pay for it, or lock her up. There's still a sign on a road by here that somebody put up, a huge billboard about Trump winning. We did it, and then lock her up. Still up there. So anyway, the dog whistle days are over. Now, I don't know if that's good or bad. At least you know who a racist is now. They're not afraid to wear a Nazi flag, T-shirt. They're not afraid to be identified, you see, and take off the Ku Klux Klan, the sheet. It's in the open. So now at least we know who people are. Now we know where they are. Maybe that's good. Because there's nothing harder to root out than a hypocrite. There's nothing harder to root out than a person who does not believe they're a racist, who is just, and they are, this is a tricky thing, because what a racist does, nobody intentionally is a racist, in the sense that it's all rationalized. But what happened in the dog whistle days of America, from Nixon to Trump, is that the racist feelings were hidden and changed into good actions. So the racist feelings create racist actions, but they are framed in such a way that they look like good actions. So you think you're good, and you feel good, and you have a good intention. But the collective pattern is going, it's like a riptide. You think you're swimming to the shore. But the riptide of the dog whistle politics is pulling you in the opposite direction. So you're going in two directions, opposite directions at the same time. And that creates a wound. It creates pain, suffering. Buddha called it dukkha, suffering of separation from yourself. So you have to get relief from it. So you keep voting for the politician who promises relief from the very conditions he's creating. So the whole Republican Party has been swept, has been part of this riptide. And now Trump has come along and said, wait a minute, we're all going to go in the same direction. We're all going to go with the riptide. We're all going in a racist direction, division. We're all going in that direction. We're no longer hypocrites. You see. We're all going with the devil. No more split signs, you see. We're all going to division, separation, segregation. We're all moving in that direction as one body, you see. No more hypocrites. Maybe that's good. It certainly did end the politics of the dog whistle. So when somebody on Morning Joe said, the days of the dog whistle are over, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Because you need to know who your enemy is. People need to be honest. If you're a racist, you have racist feelings, admit it. Yeah, go ahead, say it. It's okay. It's better to be honestly a racist than a hypocrite. It's better to be honestly a Nazi than a hypocrite Nazi, to do Nazi actions while you're saying you're not. You see. Anyway, thanks for dropping in, and I'll see you this evening.